Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'll break down some of the secrets regarding attacking in chess, as you guys keep on asking why your chess attacks fail even though it seems that they are perfectly executed. Well, I'll try to demonstrate it by showing you two games. This surely will benefit you in your chess. Let's get started. This is a position where both white and black are attacking each other. However, the white king is far more exposed than the black king, merely due to the rook and queen battery on the a file ready to pounce on and deliver checkmate if the knight ever moves. Also, the b-pawn covers key escape squares like c2 and a2, preventing the white king from escaping, and white's attack is just yet to come. Despite all this, black for some reason is unable to break through on the queen side, and if he does nothing and wastes time, white is just going to get along with his attack like g6, f6 and win the game. So the question for black is, what should he do? How should he proceed with the attack? The most obvious thing when it comes to mind when you think of attack is to go for a sacrifice, that is rook takes on a3. But after b takes, queen takes on a3. The little move rook d2 saves the day for white because there is no queen a2, there is no queen a1, and the much bigger problem is that all the other pieces for black are merely fragile. They cannot come out to help out with the attack with the queen. The bishop is absolutely useless, cannot come out, and the knight on e5 is just a mere spectator in the game with no helpful squares in mind. Although black is not just lost yet, the problem is it is very hard for black to defend because he's down the exchange, plus white's attack is just coming. That's why the key lesson here is that whenever you're going for a full-fledged attack against your opponent, try to bring as many pieces into the attack as much as possible. Black knows if he could get these pieces into the attack, he will be able to execute something. So with some considerations and brute force calculations, of course calculations are always required to execute a successful attack, he plays knight to c7, completely sacrificing the knight and posing a big threat to white with the move knight to b5, because if white does nothing, knight b5 will try to undermine the knight and the queen, and it would be very difficult for white to defend. So white decides to take on c7, and now comes another brilliant move from black. He plays rook to c8, completely ignoring the defense on e7, and he is even sacrificing the bishop because he understands if he could just open up lines and go for the attack, he will be the one who will be pushing for the win. The best move for white according to the engine is queen takes on a5. But come on, who would want to play that? White decided to play queen captures on e7, and now comes knight to c4. Just look at this, it comes with a threat on the bishop, but the more important threat is on the knight. g6 was tried by white, trying to break open the position, but here black calmly decides to take with h captures on g6, creating some breathing room. We have f captures, knight takes on a3, b takes, rook takes. White is almost on the verge of getting checkmated, but comes g captures, king h7, and here white underpromotes to a knight. Rook captures, queen captures, and the irony of this position is that black does not even decide to take the queen immediately. He first decides to give a check, here, king b2, here, and after king to b1, just queen captures on f8 is completely winning, and black went on to win this game pretty comfortably after this position. Real quick, I want to tell you about this AI chess improvement software that will literally help you boost your chess and understand your game better. With several amazing features, generally one of the best tools is the inbuilt AI coach. It literally scans your chess games and gives you a personalized improvement plan telling you what to improve, how to improve, and what to fix in your chess, along with advanced chess metrics. Please check out Chess AIX, the link will be down in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Next we move forward to this game between two Russian grandmasters. In this position, one could easily say that black is putting the pressure. The rook on the f-file is nicely dominating it, the queen is ready to hop into the attack, and this rook on the e-file can easily join forces with the two once it lands on the f-file. The two pieces, however, which are badly placed for black is this bishop, which seems to have limited scope, and this knight, which is just out of the game and cannot help out with the execution of the attack on the king's side. So if black could activate one of the two pieces, or more betterly if he could activate both of the pieces, that would be very beneficial for him in carrying forward the attack. Sensing the weakness of the d4 square, black decides to play knight to b5, offering a trade of pieces. And this is such a troublesome situation for white to be in. As white, you don't want to see knight d4 land and harass your pieces. However, the only defensive option for white is quite a difficult one to spot, even for many advanced players, and that's to go back with the knight with knight b1. But of course, that was not played. In the game, knight captures on b5. This is also an option which could be tried, but if you try this, bishop captures, and not only does the black bishop get activated, but white is just gonna lose the exchange and will be losing this game. After knight b5, another try which could happen is pawn to a4, attacking the knight and threatening it to dislodge it. However, then comes knight d4. The queen will have to move to d3, but then look at this. Rook to f3. Yes, even moves like these are possible. G takes on f3 is impossible because knight f3 check, king to g2 and queen h4, and there is no defending checkmate on h2, and white will be forced to give up the queen, and this will be again completely winning for black. So after knight b5, the only option that white has remaining is to go back with the knight by playing knight to e2, this time preventing the knight from coming to d4. But then, black can just simply collect the pawn, win the pawn, get the game going, and he's just completely winning in this position as well. So after knight to b5, white decided to completely ignore the threat on the square of d2 and decided to play pawn to f4, trying to set up a defensive setup on his own. However, this is a big mistake because this allows g takes, and the obvious rook captures on f3 was played, and this just completely throws off the game. The problem is rook captures, g captures, the king side has been completely ruptured, and now, look at this, knight d4. The weakened knight has suddenly become very strong. It is putting pressure on the queen and also threatening a fork on f3. That's why queen g2 was played defending. Now comes rook f1 putting more pressure, rook f1, and now comes queen to h4. Every single move from black is coming with a threat, and that's the general rule of attacking. With every threatening move, black manages to develop pieces and activate it with tempo. By the way, the threat here is bishop to h3, forking the queen and the rook. So queen g3 was played, trying to force a trade. Black accepts takes. And now this is a query for the players. Do you take on f3 or not? If you decided to say yes, I will consider that you are a good player, but you're not a strong player. Because Lasker's general rule says, whenever you see a good move, find a stronger one. And that's exactly what black played. Black played the move bishop to h3, forcing the rook to move away. And when the rook moves away, now you take on f3. By going this way, black does not allow white to step on the square of g2. The king has to move to h1, knight d4 offering a trade. White has to accept the trade, king g1, and after king e7, few moves down the line, with being up a pawn, black manages to win this game pretty comfortably. That's how you guys manage to learn how activating your unused pieces into the attack makes all the difference. This knight from c7, which was a completely useless piece, when it landed on d4, it became a super strong piece which was literally putting pressure on all of white's position. So comment down below, how did you find this lesson? And do check out Chess AIX. The link will be in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.